Hey everybody, T-Man again, bringing you guys another video, and this one will be doing my first MMA video that I've been teasing for a long time now, and I'm finally doing them. As you guys been seeing that I've been doing a lot, I've been pumping on a lot of videos lately. I've been recording a lot of them. There's a lot of them still I have not released yet, but I have shot. And here I'm at work right now, and I'm at a site where I'm just over here and I'm just sitting in my car and I'm getting paid for it. Easy money, guys. So I thought I would make some videos for you guys, and I'm also going to shoot a few videos. I'm going to shoot my Let's Talk Wrestling 3. I've been promising that for a long time. I have a really great show planned, so please check that one out. I've been shooting a lot of videos, going to continue. I'm doing comic book videos, and of course the meat and potatoes of the site is professional wrestling, because I am the expert of professional wrestling for those of you who are tuning in for the first time. But right now, let's just do a quick video about this afternoon. It happened today. It's currently 4:50, and this happened what time was it? I think the main card started at noon here on the West Coast. That was the main event was Crocop versus Gabriel Gonzaga 2. And I did not watch the whole card. I did not have a desire on watching the whole card. In the future, when I do reviews, I will break down the whole card. And this one, and this specific video, I'm only going to break down just the main event. Because this was on early. I wasn't a fan of the whole card. I didn't feel like watching a whole fight this morning, and I really wanted to watch the main event because this was a throwback back in 2006 or 7, I believe, the first time these two men fought. Gabriel Gonzaga and Crocop first fought, I think, in 2006, 2007, and at the time, just to show you how long ago this was, guys. This was back when Randy Couture was still the heavyweight champion, okay? Randy Couture was still the UFC heavyweight champion, and this was a title eliminator. This was a title eliminator to see who was going to face Randy Couture, and it was Crocop, fresh from Pride Fighting. I think at this point he only had one fight in the UFC. And Gabriel Gonzaga, who was a contender at the time, a real big contender at the time. And that fight was so memorable because it was the night that Crocop got Crocoped. Meaning, those of you who knows MMA and are a big fan of MMA, especially the Pride days, know all about Crocop and his high kick. His left high kick, and that was exactly what happened to Crocop. Was what he used to finish so many guys. Gabriel Gonzaga Crocoped them and used the leg kick, head kick, and knocked them out, and probably one of the most devastating head kick knockouts you would ever see anywhere. Anyway, so last night was the long-awaited rematch, because Crocop has been in other organizations. And you know, he first, I don't think he got cut from the UFC, but I think he left because he was on a losing skid, and I don't think UFC wanted to cut him, so they said, well, why don't you go out somewhere else? And he did some kickboxing, and he did some fights, won a couple other MMA fights when he got back into it. Did pretty decent, and this was one fight that always bothered him. It was one rematch. I mean, he lost a lot in the UFC. His UFC record was not good. It was not good at all. And a lot of people's like, oh, well, what happened to Crocop? I mean, but was he that great? Was he that good? I mean, I was a big fan of Pride, but it's been spoken about for so long how Pride Fighting Championship, a lot of their fights were rigged. And one, for example, was what's his name? He was a WWE wrestler. I can't believe he's currently in Lucha Underground. Oh shit, what's his name? Holy fuck. Oh my god. Oh my god. His name's right on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, he's a pro wrestler, Mexican guy. I can't. Alberto Del Rio. I'm sorry. I don't know why I got tongue tied there, or not tongue tied, but really couldn't think. But yeah, Del Rio fought in Pride Fighting one time, and he got paid money to take a leg kick. The promoter came in the back, says you go down when he throws the leg kick, and that's what happened. And that happened with a lot of Vanderlei fights and a lot of other of the top guys. I'm not saying every single fight was like that. I think anytime you had the two big names against each other, it was always a legit fight. But when you had some Japanese guy in there or some guy who's not known, or they just threw in there, those fights were pretty much predetermined because Pride put a lot of money into those. So anyways, I took a lot of time setting up the backstory, but anyways, this was the fight Mikro Crocop really wanted. And you know, let's get into it. Mikro Crocop, this fight went 3 rounds. It was a 5-round fight, scheduled for 5, and it went 3 rounds. And Mikro Crocop looked really, really bad, guys. For the first 2-3 minutes, he hardly threw anything. Gonzaga looked okay. I mean, Gonzaga didn't really look that great either. And Gonzaga's coming off a lot of good wins. I think he might have lost 1 or 2 here and there in his past 5 fights. I don't know what his win-loss record, just in his last 5 fights alone. But Gonzaga has been kind of on a resurgence at one point. And Gonzaga, I mean, he's really, even though he did do that Crocop kick and he has had some knockdowns, his bread and butter is his jiu-jitsu and his ground fighting. And he looked good everywhere. He really did. Gonzaga looked good everywhere. He rocked Crocop a lot during that fight. And it ended in the 3rd round with Crocop hitting him with an elbow in the corner. They were clinched, rocked him, and then Crocop finished him on the ground with some ground and pound. And it wasn't the most exciting fight in the world, even though the 3rd fight kind of got fun because Crocop got busted open, and then Gonzaga got really busted open at the end, because at the end Crocop was just fucking doing away with those fucking ground and pound and the elbows. I mean, I think he got a new weapon. I mean, we always knew about his leg kicks, but man, Mikro Crocop's elbows were vicious, man. Absolutely fucking vicious. Anyways, so that was the end of that. Will Crocop fight again? Since he won, he probably will. I would like to see Crocop go off in the win. Go off with a win. He came back to the UFC. I would like to see him retired and maybe go into the Hall of Fame this year, saying, Crocop, we don't want you to fight anymore, but here's the consolation. We're going to put you in the Hall of Fame. And he really does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Not so much for his UFC career, but all the contributions he did in Pride. Even though there was some fake fights, all those real legit fights against the trilogy, against Barnett and other guys like that, those are all legit fights. And you know, I think he deserves it. And this was just one loss that really, you know, didn't set right with him. You know, I mean, he got finished by his own leg kicks. So that was one fight he needed to avenge, and he did that. So good for Crocop. It was nice to see Crocop win a fight. But he didn't look all that great throughout the whole fight. If you watched the 3rd fight, it wasn't that exciting. And I think both guys, I mean, you talk about one's 35, one's 40. Crocop being 40, Gonzaga being 35. These guys are not going to do anything in the heavyweight division. They went out headlining a pay-per-view. I think that should be it. You know, they sold tickets. They did what they had to do. That's why they didn't put this fight on Fox Sports 1. They put it on the UFC Fight Pass. So good for Crocop. Let's send them off, and let's end it there. Anyways, that'll conclude this video. Just a quick video, and I'll see you for the next one. Later, guys.